Folks, it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Tuesday, December 26th. I hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to be discussing tax loss selling ending tomorrow. It'll be the last day. And then also going to be discussing TFSA, tax-free savings accounts for those in Canada. We're going to be seeing a limit increase, so it's going to be $7,000 for 2024. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. Also, none of this is investment advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. You should never ever buy anything based on anything that I write or anything that I say. So again, we'll be discussing tomorrow being the last day of tax loss harvesting, and then we'll discuss the increased limit for TFSAs in 2024. Also, make sure to give us a follow over on X, which is formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow, and we recently signed up for Rumble and Odyssey platforms as well, just in case we ever get silenced here on YouTube. I'm going to be using most of my TFSA contribution room for MJ stocks. So you can see your TFSA limit rising to $7,000 for 2024. What will you do with the extra room? So I'm curious, what if you're a Canadian and you're going to, if you're like me, if you already maxed your TFSA and you're waiting for that new contribution room, what are you going to be using to buy? What are you going to be buying with that extra contribution room? You're going to be buying MJ stocks, or you're going to be buying a multitude of stocks and different asset classes. Personally, I'm going to be using, I would say 100% is going to be for MJ stocks, and I'm going to be looking to focus more on the US MSOs, but there's a couple LPs that I'll be focusing on as well, which I'll discuss in a minute. But let me know in the comments below what you're going to be adding. If you're going to be adding MJ like myself, I still think we're seeing rock bottom prices at the moment, absolute steals of deals right now out there in terms of MJ prices. So that's where I'm going to be focusing my room. And like I said, I've already maxed it out, so I'm just foaming at the mouth at these prices. Can't wait less than a week now before we get to see that extra contribution room for 2024. Also, important tax dates for 2023. You can see here, this is from Scotia Wealth Management, but if you just scroll down to Q4, December 27th is the last day to settle and trade in 2023 for Canadian tax loss selling. So if you're wondering why that is, it's because stocks take 3 days to settle. So when you sell a stock, you might be thinking, well, what do you mean I sell it? I get the money in my account, I have the cash, it's done deal. But there's actually like clearing houses and things like that in the background. And because stocks are, using kind of old antiquated technology, it takes about 3 days to settle. Eventually, because of the blockchain, we'll be able to have same day settlement, and the SEC has already been working to get that approved. It was unanimously approved, so I think it's going to be coming, I would say, over the next couple of years. Eventually we'll be able to trade stocks 24/7, 365, and like I said, I think eventually it's going to be on the blockchain. It'll settle with finality in a matter of seconds, and then, like I said, as a result of blockchain technology and innovation of technology, we'll see stocks trade 24/7, 365, kind of like crypto. But reminder, tomorrow is the last day, so this should help, in my opinion, with the MJ industry as well, because a lot of people taking it on the chin this year, especially if you take a look at like Cannabis growth into the end of the year here with that reverse split news, lots of people probably looking to take advantage of that tax loss selling there, where it was down like 50% in a few days. But if you take a look at the CGC chart, actually over the last couple of days, it's up almost 35% after the reverse split news. So everybody thinks reverse splits are the worst thing in the world, but I mean, obviously they're not great, but I don't think they're as bad as everybody makes them out to be, right? It's just a way for market makers to manipulate the market, as they always do. Regular stock splits are a way to manipulate it on the way up so that people get priced out, and then they make it cheaper, and then people think, oh, I can buy Amazon now that it's $100 and not $1,000 or $2,000, right? And it's just a psychological thing, right? Nothing actually changes with the enterprise value, the market cap, or anything like that, your account value. Reverse split's obviously not great, but like I said, I don't think it's a big deal. Most people don't even know what a reverse split is. So people who are looking at Canopy, let's say a year ago, they saw that the price was at $1 or sub $1. They're not checking it every day. So when they come and they look, maybe after the holidays, they look in the new year and they say, oh, Canopy's at $4 or $5 or $6. They're like, oh, we had a nice rebound. Yeah, maybe I'll buy some. But they're not thinking like there was a reverse split, right? You see how it's a psychological thing? And then, people who do know what a reverse split is, they tend to have people have memory of a goldfish, right? In this day and age, people tend to forget very quickly, right? So, and again, most people don't know what a reverse split is. Most people don't check the price every day or even every month, right? Some people only check in every few months, and people who have checked out of MJ may not look for another 4 months or 6 months until, their friends start telling them about it, right? Or the media starts pumping it on the mainstream headlines, right? And then they might look at Canopy and say, oh, look, it's back up to $5 or $10. Maybe it's a good time to get in, not even thinking or being aware of the fact that it had a reverse split, right? So I don't think it's a big deal, but like I said, this is great that we're getting tax loss selling out of the way. And then I think we could see some positive news into 2024. There's tons of catalysts coming. We have MJ Act up for review here in Canada, so we could see improvement to edibles, 10 milligrams up to 100 milligrams. We could see improvements to excise taxes. We could see Florida on the ballot for 2024. We have Ohio, Pennsylvania. We have New York allowing MSOs. We have Germany set to come online. We have safer banking. We have rescheduling potentially in Q1, Q2. I think we could get approval of that. So there's tons to look forward to. And like I said, getting tax loss selling out of the way is just another thing that we can, cross off the list of what we need to get done and see move out of the way before we can expect a new multi-year bull market. I've also done a video on my top 5 MJ holdings for 2023. It's a little bit out of date now, and I also did a video on my entire MJ portfolio holdings with percentage breakdown. And if you haven't seen these videos, you can check them out, but let me know what your top 5 MJ holdings are in your portfolio, and let me know what stocks you're going to be adding if you're like me and you're just waiting for that extra $7,000 contribution room for your tax-free savings account so that money can grow tax-free. Let me know what you're going to be adding. What's your top MJ stocks that you're going to be adding, or your top stocks that you're going to be adding to your TFSA once we get that contribution room limit increase here in just under a week. But personally, I'm going to be focusing more on the multi-state operators. So I'm going to be focusing more on the licensed producers in the US. And the reason for that is the MSOs is because when I was adding Canadian MJ for the last couple of years was usually normally a lot weaker than US MJ. And we had that run up in February 2021 highs when a lot of US MJ names were hitting all-time highs, right? And then, what was it? Trulieve went from like $67 down to, $7 or whatever it was. It dropped like over 90%, right? So what I was doing was holding off on USMJ because the whole sector moves together, right? It moves in tandem, not down to the day, the second, the minute. But if you look at the monthly chart or a yearly chart, overall, MJ tends to follow one another, right? All MJ companies, not just US, not just Canadian producers, producers across the globe, ETFs, retailers, etc. And I seen that MJ in Canada was down, your Tilrays and whatnot, your CGCs, they were all down over 90% from their February 2021 highs, and some cases down over 99% from their all-time highs. So I was in the camp of thinking that because MJ usually tends to follow each other, we should see more weakness in the US MSOs, and that's exactly what we got. Now, on average, most MSOs are down over 90% from their February 2021 and all-time highs. So now that's where I'm looking to buy, and now this close into the new year, I figured I'd just hold off, and I don't mind buying a little bit higher if I can wait and hold off a little bit to buy it in my TFSA, which is tax-free savings, right? So I'm going to be looking personally, I added GTII as well to this list. It wasn't on my entire MJ portfolio. I'll have to do another one. This was 4 months ago, so I'll have to do another update one here for 2024 here in a couple of months, more than likely, especially after I max out my TFSA. But I'm probably going to max out my TFSA probably right away. I'm definitely going to be, probably 75-80% next week when we can, and then I'll probably save 10-20% for a little bit later on down the road, but I'm going to be maxing out the majority here next week. And like I said, I'm going to be focusing, I did add a tiny bit of GTII, so I'm going to be adding some GTII as well. May look to do Trulieve. I'm still not 100% sold. I've got exposure to it in my MSOS ETF, so I think that's good enough. And something I noticed as well, and this video isn't sponsored by Moomoo. They are a sponsor of the channel, but this video is not sponsored. Something I like about Moomoo as well, if you go to the ticker, it says here under the summary analysis tab, what ETFs hold it. And then you can just go to your watch list and you can do the same for like a Tilray Brands, and it'll show you under summary all of the ETFs, the relative ETFs that hold it with the ratio. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, really liking that platform so far. But again, not a sponsor of this video. I'm just talking about it because that's something I found out over the weekend. I wasn't sure if that was a feature that they had before when I did the tutorial, but regardless, if it's a new feature added recently, very, very cool feature. So I'm going to be looking to add GTII. I'm going to be looking to add a bit more Cresco as well. and Sundial's another one, or SNDL, I guess, after the name change. And there's a few others I might look to add as well. AYR, I think is going to be a really great opportunity, but I'm still kind of sorting that out. But those are my top ones right now. And like I said, I'll do an update video and keep everybody posted on what I end up selecting here over the next week or so. But more than likely be a couple of months before I get that video out. But let me know, like I said, in the comment section below, what you're going to be adding to your TFSA if you're Canadian like me. Obviously, those in the US wouldn't really apply. But if you're from the US, let me know in 2024 what MJ stocks or what stocks you're going to be adding to your portfolio. I would assume most people are looking to add MJ because this is an MJ centric and focused channel. But going to end it there, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. If this video was helpful, please smash the like, share it with your network. I would appreciate it. I love each and every one of you who supported me along the way. Looking forward to closing out 2023. It was a hell of a year. It's been a brutal bear market in the MJ industry, and we all know that we could use some greener days ahead. So going into there, looking forward to 2024, wishing you nothing but the best and an absolute happy new year with your friends and family. We'll see you on the next video.